What's up everyone, welcome to part 6. This part also went a little bit long. The reason for this is that I showed you some additional functionality, such as that full automatic mode and selector on your gun, so you could switch between modes and you could see visually which mode you're in. And this is the last part of the tutorials, and I'll not post any more continuing this series. So everything I ask from you is like, support, subscription to my channel, and also make sure you join my Discord server, and I will really appreciate it. Ask any questions you like and I'll be glad to answer. Okay, so let's go straight to what we're going to do today. Okay, so today in our series, we finally have our M4 with our sight. Then we have our selector switch. We can switch through the modes, and let's actually go ahead and insert the magazine. We also have different sounds added, and we can reload our gun with the same way, like this. The most important part everyone is asking to show to M4, and there you go. It's two-handed grab, and as you can see, it works, and it works wonderful. One more essential part from this is that if I release my left hand and I will point my right hand somewhere else, my gun will align it once I release my secondary grab. Next functionality is our full auto mode. So despite the fact that we can shoot our semi-automatic, we can switch to our auto and we can shoot automatically. And you can see the recoil right there. And if I grab it with two hands, the recoil is going to be lower. So just to see you in action, let's actually change our magazine. Let's actually shoot. Grab it with two hands. Yeah, you got the difference. And also we have a silencer that we can attach. And the same on the pistol. And there you go, we have double silencers. And we have full kit. Like this. Okay, so first thing we have to do is to actually fix some bugs. So let's go ahead to our gun and let's look for a function, line trace, impact decals, randomizer recoil, and so on. So double click on this function and double click on gun location and direction. That's our pure function we have created. And here, instead of our silencer barrel, I did a typo here. I used S instead of C, so let's go ahead and change it to C, silencer barrel. And afterwards, we're going to fix one sound. It's our silencer cue. So let's go ahead and look for silencer here, and we'll see our silencer attached sound. So let's go ahead and click on its cue, and as you will see here, there is a wave player none. So we're going ahead and delete this, and instead of the none, we're going to insert our silencer attach. And we're going to connect it to modulator, like this. And just double check. It works. Afterwards, we're going to create animations for our silencer. So let's go ahead and click on our random animation, or maybe on our animation blueprint, and let's access its skeleton. So as you can see here, I have the magazine from my previous tutorial. So let's go ahead, right click on any socket and remove all attached assets. What we're going to do, we're going to add a new socket, and let's call it handgun silencer socket. We're going to right click, add preview asset, and look for silencer here. Since we have only one silencer, for our handgun, I'll click and add this. So you can go ahead and copy the location I have right here. You can copy the rotation. And now all we have to do is just to adjust our hand a little bit. So now we can go ahead to create asset, create animation, and current pose. And let's save it to our animations folder and call it anim k handgun silencer. And let's click OK. So afterwards, in our previous tutorials, we have created our enumerator called object types. So as you can see here, the silencer is 0, 1, 2, 3 is the third item in our list. So let's go ahead to our blend space 2D and add our newly created animation QK handgun silencer to the third element from the bottom, 0, 1, 2, 3. And make sure your gun type and object type is 0, 3. Exactly. So you can hit Ctrl S, and let's go back to our VR template. Once we have animations for our silencer, we also should not forget about our curl grab component, because we want to be able to grab our silencer. And as you can see here, in our try grab function, our silencer is not set up. So we're going to have exactly the same logic as for our magazine. So let's go ahead and copy all of those nodes and delete all of those nodes right here and copy it below like this and connect silencer to here. The only thing that we are going to change here is to change our socket name, because as you remember in our skeleton, our socket is called handgun silencer socket, so go ahead and copy this name and put it right here. And instead of object type, make sure you select silencer. Compile and save. And now what we have to do is to create our blueprint for our silencer. So I'll go ahead in my guns folder, guns, handgun, blueprints, and right click, blueprint class, actor, BP, silencer. I'm going to double click on it, and here we're going to grab our silencer mesh. So that's the one right here. And we can go ahead and replace the root component with this mesh. And let's change its collision settings a little bit. So let's go to its collision settings, collision preset, set to custom. Our object type is our weapon, and we're going to block everything except for curve grabbable, and 3D widget. Let's hit compile and save. Afterwards, let's add our box collision. That's going to be for our collision with our gun. You can go ahead and copy the transform rules I have, like this, and our collision box is going to be around here. Its collision settings you can leave as they are. Afterwards, we're going to add our grab bounce. So let's go ahead and add our capsule collision, grab bounce. Now let's make it a child of our silencer mesh. So you can also go ahead and copy the location, rotation, and scale of our capsule collision. Afterwards, let's go ahead to its collision presets. We're going to set it to custom. We're going to make it world static. We're going to ignore everything except for curl grabbable and for magazine. Hit compile and save. And under our grab bounce, we're going to add our curl grab component and make sure you set its grab type to silencer and gun type to handgun. Hit compile and save. Now let's go ahead and add two variables. The first one is silencer type. It's going to be of a type gun type, and make sure its default value is set to handgun. And afterwards, we're adding one more variable. Let's call it silencer attach sound, and it's going to be of a type sound cue. And let's set a default value to our fixed sound is going to be attach cue, silencer attach cue. Hit compile and save. Let's go ahead now and create a function. Play attach sound. We're going to play our sound here. Play sound at location. And our location is going to be our box. But let's go ahead and rename it as gun collision, like this. Hit compile, go back, and get its world location, and connect it to here. Hit compile and save. Okay, so that's it for our silencer. We can go ahead and grab it into our level, like here. And now we have to edit our gun a little bit. We're going to our attachment handling graph. We're going to click on our silencer collision and click on component begin overlap. And we're going to have the exact same functionality for our magazine, but we're going to interchange some variables and make sure that our Boolean variable that we created in previous tutorials is set to true. So let's go ahead, paste the same code right here, align it with our graph. I'll just go ahead and delete the comments because the logic is completely the same. And what we're going to do, we're going to create another variable in our gun. Let's call it silencer, and it's going to be of type BP silencer. And we're going to drag it here. Right click, convert to the validated get, and we're going to delete those two nodes. We connect this execution pin to here, and other actor, we drag it from here, cast to BP silencer. And the execution pin to this node is going to be from is not valid, and from this execution pin to here. Afterwards, we've created our variable in our silencer, so let's go ahead and retrieve it. Silencer type, we are checking if it equals to our gun type. Let's go ahead and delete those reroute nodes and delete our magazine. We are setting our BP silencer here, like this, and on here we're getting its curl grab component. Curl grab component. We're checking if it's held. As I'm saying, logic is the same, but the only difference here is that we're going to get our silencer attached boolean variable and set it to true because it influences the way we shoot from our gun. And afterwards we're retrieving its mesh, silencer mesh. This one, we're connecting it to set simulate physics. We're getting its grab component, connecting it to here and to here. Afterwards, we're getting our silencer, and instead of play in sound, we are playing attach sound. Right here. Again, we're getting its grab component, connecting here and here. Make sure you compile. So as you can see, I see some errors. That's because we didn't bind on event. So let's go ahead and do it. Add custom event. And let's call it simulate silencer physics undropped. So on here, we can just copy the same code we have for our magazine, like this. But instead of our magazine, we're getting our silencer. We're getting its curl grab component, like this, connecting it to here and to here. Instead of clearing out the magazine reference, we're clearing out our silencer reference. And make sure to set your silencer attached to false. And make sure you tick it to true, because once we set our silencer, it means our silencer is attached. Okay, hit compile and save, make sure everything works, no errors. Then we're getting our event from here, custom event. We can call it attach silencer. And now what we have to do is that in our magazine, we have this function right here. So let's go ahead and search for it. Smooth magazine attachment and continue once done. Let's go ahead and Control D, duplicate it, and call it smooth silencer attachment and continue once done. Open it, and here you'll see our magazine. So what we'll have to do is to replace our magazine by our silencer and get its mesh like this. And its root component right here. And make sure that our socket location, that's our socket in our static mesh, is set to barrel. So here we type barrel, and that's it for this function. Let's go back to our graph, and in here we can copy those three nodes here, paste it to our silencer, and let's go ahead and get our newly created function to here. Connect the branch node, and here make sure your socket name is also barrel, like this, and instead of magazine, we have our silencer. And pass timer by function name, make sure your function name is the same as attached silencer. Okay, so now, if we jump into the game, we can go ahead and being able to grab our silencer grab our gun, attach our silencer to our gun, and attach our magazine to our gun. And let's go ahead, reload it, change the mode, and we can shoot. As you can see, it works perfectly. And finally, we have our M4. So what you have to do is download the assets from my Google Drive. This is the M4. And I already have this folder on my desktop. Let's Control C from here, open our guns folder, right click, show in Explorer, and here we just paste this assault rifle. Control C and paste assault rifle here. Once you go to our assault rifle, we'll have to basically fix the meshes and everything here. So let's go ahead to our 5.56mm and we're going to fix the assets. So go ahead here and change it to MI cartridges like this. Afterwards, we're going to our casing, the same way we're changing it to cartridges like this. Then assault rifle, our material will be MI assault rifle. And we will have to double click on this material and change its parent to MI master, M-gun master material. Here, our albedo, normal, and reflection, we're changing to our assault rifle albedo, assault rifle normal, and assault rifle reflection. Control Shift S. Let's go back here, and as you can see, our assault rifle is set. Then we're doing basically it with all of our meshes. So we go to our handle. Once you get to your red dot, you have two materials. So the first one will be our assault rifle, and the second one will be M red dot. And also double click on this red dot, and our texture sample here, we are going to assign another texture called T red dot, and let's hit Control S, go back, and as you can see now, we can see our red dot through our sight. Now continue doing the same as you're doing so far. Assault rifle. So once we fixed our assets, as you can see here, we'll have to go to our audio and fix all of the sound cues we have here. So I'll open it like this. Let's go to our dry fire. Here we're going to put our AR dry fire, and we can use it as the only mixer like this. We are not touching the automatic shots and automatic shots silenced. We're going right away to our assault rifle charging handle, and we're going to grab here our assault rifle bolt release pedal and assault rifle charging handle grab like this, and we're going to mix it like this. Afterwards, we're going to our assault rifle charging handle released. So here we're using this one, assault rifle charging handle release, and connect it right away to output. Then we have our assault rifle cocked sound. So let's go ahead and remove all of those things here. I was playing with the sounds. Connect our assault rifle cocked sound here. Like that. Like this. So then we have mag in, mag out. So we're going to look for our mag in, mag out. It's in our sounds folder. Mag in. Here. Mag out sound. That's this sound over here. Like this. Then we have our single shot silenced. So we have those three sounds right here. We can drag them here and put into the mixer like this. And we have single shot without silencer. Those two sounds. Like this. So once we're done with sounds, we have to do some visual effects. So let's go to our handgun, to our VFX, and you'll see here that we have our casing ejection and slide bullet ejection. Just for the purpose of this video, I'm going to edit those two, but if you want, you can edit other ones. Only in this tutorial, I'm going to only edit the casing and slide bullet ejection. If you want, you're free to copy all of them, do whatever you want with those effects. Maybe you want bigger flash or maybe more smoke, but I'm going to do only casings. Control C, go to our assault rifle, add another folder, VFX. And I'm going to copy them here. So let's rename it. So this one is going to be assault bullet ejection. And here we'll have assault casing ejection. And we're going to open assault bullet ejection. And here, instead of our mesh, we're going to change our 556 NATO. And in casing, we're going to change the mesh renderer, static mesh, to 556 casing. Like this. And now we have another boring part, is to creating our animations and then kill grab components. So let's start with our animations. The same way, I'm going to open our animation blueprint, go to our skeleton, and as you can see here, we have handgun socket, handgun magazine socket, and temporary socket. So let's go ahead and create our assault socket. Add sockets, let's call it assault rifle socket. We're going to remove all attached assets, and we're going to add our assault rifle socket. So you can also go ahead and copy the location I have, the rotation I have. And now let's set up our trigger grab. Now I'm done with my assault rifle socket, so let's go ahead, create asset, create animation, current pose, go to hands, animations, anim, QK, assault rifle, grab, like this. Afterwards, we create another socket. It's going to be for our magazine, add socket, assault rifle, magazine. We're going to right click, remove all attached assets, right click, add preview asset, and now we look for magazine. You can go ahead and copy my location and my rotation. And now adjust your fingers again. So that's what I have. You can make it as beautiful as you want, but I'm just doing it quick, so it might look bad. Let's go ahead and create asset, create animation, current pose, hands animations, anim, QK, assault, rifle, magazine. Afterwards, we have the socket for our silencer. Right click, add socket. We add silencer for our assault rifle, like this. You can go ahead and copy my location and rotation. Now adjust your hand. Okay, the same way, create asset, create animation, current pose, anim, QK, assault, rifle, silencer, like this. Then we can use our temporary socket because we're not going to use sockets in our secondary grab and slider sockets. So let's go and create animation for our handle. So remove all assets, add preview asset, and it's going to be handle, charging handle like this. You can go ahead and copy the location and rotation the same way, like this, and now just adjust your fingers. Create asset, create animation, current pose, QK, assault, K, assault, rifle, handle, like this. And afterwards, we're creating our secondary grab. So we can go ahead and also use a temporary socket. You can remove all attached assets, right click again, add preview asset. And now we're adding again our assault rifle. And you can go ahead and copy my location and rotation, like this. And now adjust your secondary grab. The things we're doing here should not be exactly the same as you want because you will adjust your hand location. So here is just a matter of setting up the animation. Okay, so now again, create asset, create animation, current pose, animations, anim, QK, assault, rifle, secondary grab. And afterwards, we have to create animation for our trigger pressed. So go ahead to your assault rifle socket, you add a preview animation, you add your gun, and afterwards you go to your preview scene, animation, use specific animation, and you choose your assault rifle grab, like this. And afterwards you adjust your index finger so that it looked like you pressed the trigger, like this. Create asset, create animation, current pose, hands, animation, anim, QK, assault rifle, trigger press, and click OK. Now, once we finish with animations, let's go to our blend space. And here I'm going to open my object type variable and have it sideways like this. Our zeros element is, remember, it's handgun, gun type is handgun. And the first element here we're going to have, it will be our assault rifle. So let's go ahead and add horizontal divisions to 2. And our value, max value, is going to be 2. So that here, the value is 1. Now we have our regular grab. So let's go ahead to our assault rifle grab. It's going to be on 1, 0. Then we have our magazine. It's going to be magazine. Then we have our handle. Then it's going to be handle. Afterwards, we have our silencer. Let's get our assault rifle silencer. And here we have our secondary grip. So it's going to be our secondary grab. And here we have open. So the same way, we just put our open animation right here. Okay, blend space is set up. Now let's go to our blend space 1D because we have to set our trigger pressed value. And here, your NMQK assault rifle trigger pressed, we drag on value 1. So make sure here's a value 1. Control S and go back to our VR template. Now finally, we're making our assault rifle. Here is the beauty for object-oriented programming. So let's go ahead to our BP magazine, right click, create child blueprint class, and let's code BP assault rifle magazine. And as you can see here, so we inherited all the functionality from our gun. So all we have to do now is just to change the meshes and bullets, that's it. So here, instead of our magazine mesh, we're going to take our assault rifle magazine, like this. For our ISM rounds, we're going to have a different type of rounds. Now it's 5.56 NATO. Pickup collision, we can change. You can go ahead and copy the location and scale I have here. And also the rotation, like this. And in curl grab component, make sure you change grab type to magazine, gun type to assault rifle. Now we have our assault rifle. And magazine collision, we can also copy the values I have. Now let's play in our ISM rounds. So let's go ahead and click on our BP assault rifle magazine self. And here you'll see all the settings for our bullets. So let's go ahead and copy the values I have. So rounds, we want to have 30 rounds in our magazine. But as you can see here, we have still our old meshes. So let's go ahead and change it also right here. Because as I explained in previous tutorials, this overwrite round mesh overwrites our regular mesh. So let's go ahead and set it to 5.56 too. NATO. And now you can see our new bullets. So we have round 30, our index is going to be 0, our radius, then our width offset is going to be this number, then our height offset is going to be the following, then width offset taper start is going to be set to 0, and then we have a height offset taper is going to be also set to 0, then our curve start is going to be set to 13, like this, then our rotation is going to be set to this, then curve strength is this value, then curve sharpness is going to be set to this value. Our start location is the following, like here. And scale is going to be 1. So now we have done our magazine and no need to write any functions. So if you click on your event graph, you will see we have our parent functionality, but our parent is our gun and all the functions are there. So let's hit compile. We're done with this magazine right now. And I remind you to change the grab type and gun type here. And also don't forget to change mag in sound and mag out sound. For this purposes, we'll have mag in for our assault rifle and we have mag out for our assault rifle too. And also make sure you set magazine type to assault rifle. Hit compile and save. You can drag it to your level. We can duplicate to 3 more, like this, and I'll move it a little bit closer. Let's do the silencer part. So right click on BP silencer, create child blueprint, and call it BP assault rifle silencer. Double click on this one. Here, all we have to do is change the mesh. So click here. We also select silencer, but our assault rifle, then grab bounds. And you can go ahead and copy the values I have right here for our grab bounds. Then our curl grab component, make sure you have silencer, and our gun type is assault rifle 2. Compile and save. And make sure in your default settings, you have to click on here, you set your silencer type to assault rifle 2, like this. And our gun collision, you can also go ahead and copy the location and the scale, like here. You can hit Ctrl S and save. Also, we can put our silencer into our level, this way. And now the most interesting part is our main gun. Locate our BP gun. The same way, right click, create child blueprint class, BP, assault rifle. Double click on it, and we'll have to mess with all of those collisions here, sounds, VFX, and so on. So first of all, change your gun type to assault rifle. Then we're going from top to bottom. Gun mesh. Now it's assault rifle, this way. Then we are going to our main grip collision. You can go ahead and copy the location, the rotation, and the scale. Like this. Then we have our main grab component. Make sure that your gun type is set to assault rifle and grab type is gun. Afterwards, let's go to our trigger. We select here trigger, but now for assault rifle. And you can copy its location, rotation, and scale. Then we have our muzzle. So in this case, we don't have our muzzle. I explained it in part 1 and in part 2. For assault rifle, there is no muzzle. So let's go ahead and clear it. Then we have our silencer collision. The same way, you can copy my location, rotation, and scale. And it's going to be here. Then we have our secondary grip. So secondary grip, just for now, let's enable their visibility so we could see it. For both of them, let's apply a different animation. So we'll use our secondary grip for our assault rifle, like this. Let's go ahead for our R. I'm going to copy the location, the rotation right here. That's our hand R. And then for hand L, the same way I'm copying my location, rotation, and scale. And my hand L is here. Okay, looks promising. Moving forward, we have our secondary grab collision. So the same way you can copy the location, the rotation, and scale. It's going to be located here. Then we have our secondary grab component. In secondary grab component, grab type is secondary grab, but gun type now is assault rifle. Hit compile and save. Now our magazine collision. You can go ahead, copy the location, the rotation, and the scale, like here. Then we have our handle. So now in this gun, as I've also explained, make sure you listen to part 1, part 2, we now have our handle. So let's go ahead, look for handle. So it's going to be assault rifle, charging handle, and it's going to be here. It automatically snaps to this position. In this case, we also have our slide, but it's going to be different. It's going to be assault rifle, ejector, and it's going to be here. So now, if you moved your handle, you're going to move your slide too. Then for our round, we're going to choose 556 NATO. Make sure to change its location, rotation, and scale to what I have here. Otherwise, you will not see your round. Then our slide hand, let's make them also visible, like here. And we're going to apply specific animation. That's going to be our handle for assault rifle, like this. So for our hand R, you can go ahead and copy the location, rotation, and scale. So as you can see now, it snaps to this position. And the same way for hand L, copy location, rotation, and scale, like this. Afterwards, we have our slide grab collision, the same way, location, rotation, and scale, right here. Finally, curl grab component, make sure you change grab type to reload handle and gun type to assault rifle. Hit compile and save. So you double check how everything looks. If it looks okay, then wonderful. Let's go ahead and disable the visibility of our hands because we no longer need them. So let's go ahead, add static mesh, attach it to gun mesh. Let's call it sight. You can go ahead and add a sight. It's going to be red dot, and make sure your location is set to 0. Everything is set to 0. And you will see your sight snaps this position, and you can see a red dot in the end. And also there is another type of sight I will show you. That's the regular one here. Also, you have it. But I will leave it on this one. It looks cooler. Okay, so I will show you how to do the safety mode later. Now we'll just need to make sure everything works. So also let's go ahead to BP Assault Rifle. And as you can see here, we have a lot of variables to set up too. So let's go ahead and look for our trigger final possible position. It's going to be the same. Our fire threshold, we can leave the same. Action value right is 0. Initial grab offset is same. Then charging handle max distance, I'll put to -10. It looks cooler. We need the handle to go more further away. Then offset to play release sound, I'll choose to -4. Gun type assault rifle, this is the same. And I'll just leave everything same. So if you don't like something, you'll test it out, you can replace those variables. Then we need to replace our sound effects. So cocked sound cue, we choose for assault rifle, then dry fire for also assault rifle, then shot for assault rifle, then slide released, assault rifle charging handle released, then grabbed, assault rifle charging handle released. Then for grabbed, we look for assault charging handle grabbed, empty trigger. We can leave the same. Silencer SFX, it's silencer shot. So assault rifle shot silenced. Double check we have everything correct. Afterwards, we need to change our VFX, so slide round ejection, assault rifle bullet ejection. So for silencer flash, you can choose your own Niagara system. Maybe you create another one that looks more like, that looks much better. Bullet casing, so we have our assault rifle casing. Bullet ejector, shot smoke, same, and same. Okay, so I hope it works now. We can drag this one to the level. And what I'm going to do now, we have to do a lot of work in our grab component also. So let's go to our grab component, go to our try grab, and here, when we have our gun, it's right here. We need to also switch on our gun. So that's this node right here, assault rifle. So what we can do, just copy those nodes, paste them here, connect assault rifle here. And now we have to copy our socket's name and make sure they're the same. So let's go ahead, open those two windows like this. And for our assault rifle regular grab, we have our assault rifle socket, copy its name, paste it here. And object type is our gun hold. Compile, save. For our secondary grip, we don't do anything. We just leave it as it is. Then we need to work on our co-grab component. So once we are in the co-grab component, try grab function, first we are going to work on our magazine. So as you can see here, we have a switch in our gun. So let's go ahead and separate it a little bit more, like this. And from assault rifle, we're going to copy the same code, paste it right here. Now we're going to use our magazine socket. It's right here. Paste it here, and we have same magazine type. For our silencer, completely the same. Switching and using our silencer. Like this. Let's hit compile and save. So to make Selector workable, what we'll have to do is that our gun here, the assault rifle, is inherited from our pistol. Therefore, we have to go to our gun, edit BB gun, add static mesh, and we're going to have our selector mesh. And here, make sure you hit compile and make sure you have the same location as I do, right here. Afterwards, don't do anything, we don't need to assign the mesh, and we'll assign the static mesh in our BP assault rifle. And make sure that our selector mesh collision is set to no collision, otherwise our grab component will not work. Here, no collision. Hit compile and save. So in order to do it, we'll go to our switching gun modes and releasing mag, and we'll create our another function called rotate selector mesh, and we'll create 3 variables of type float. The first one is going to be rotation safe. The second one is going to be rotation semi-automatic, and then we'll have rotation full auto. We can hit compile, and for rotation safe, default value is -55. For rotation semi-automatic, it's going to be 0, and for rotation full auto, it's going to be 55. So now let's get those 3 variables, and let's drag current firing mode, because we'll rotate our selector depending on our current firing mode. We're going to select float, here rotation safe, rotation semi-automatic, rotation full auto. And single you can leave as it is, because once we switch full auto, it becomes back to safe mode. That's what we have programmed. Afterwards, you're getting your selector mesh, set relative rotation, and this will be the value for our Y, like this. Hit compile, save, go back 1 graph, and put our newly created function, rotate selector mesh, right here. And since we have our safe mod, we can go ahead and set our selector mesh default value rotation for Y -55, like this. So let's go back to our assault rifle, and you'll see that our selector mesh is added here, but we don't have our static mesh. So let's go ahead and add our static mesh safety right here. And as you can see, it's in safe mode. And now once you're in your game, you can take your gun like this. You can switch your modes to safe, fire, and auto. For now, auto is not done, and I'll show you how to do it later. So let's insert our magazine, reload, like this, and switch to fire. Now I cannot shoot, I switch to fire. Our recoil works, we're shooting, and moreover, we have our two-handed grab, and as you can see, you can aim. The feature here I tried to explain to you last time is that I can grab my gun, I can rotate my right controller, and once I release, the gun aligns with my right controller. And also, the recoil. It's different. So yeah, so now let's go for our firing mode. And it's really simple. Let's go to our BP gun, because we are editing our parent. Let's go to our shooting, and here, what we'll have to do is that on full auto, we have to check if our chamber has bullet, like this. And in case our chamber does have bullet, what we'll have to do is that we're going to play our timer. So do once, we'll have to start firing automatically. We're going to set timer by event. So here our time is going to be our firing rate. So let's go ahead, create a variable of type float. We can call it firing rate. And let's set a default value to 12 rounds a second. Afterwards, we're going to divide. Here is our value float. 1 by firing rate. Then we're going to multiply it by -1. And the reason we're multiplying by -1 is to avoid our initial start delay. So our time will be actually this value, and our initial start delay will be the same value but negative. That's a little trick. And we set looping to true. Afterwards, we create an event, custom event, fire bullet, and we connect this bullet to our single shot. That's many single shots, like this. And let's move it to the left. And afterwards, in here, when we release our trigger, we're going to pause timer by function name, and our function name will be firing bullet. Like this, and we're going to reset our ability to shoot automatically again. And in case our chamber has bullet is false, we're going also to pause our timer by function name and connect it right here. Hit compile, save. Let's jump to the game and see if our fully... You take out your gun, insert the magazine, drag a handle, switch to auto, and shoot. Yeah, so it works perfectly. And now, if we choose our mode to regular fire, so it's semi-automatic, it also works. Take mag, throw this one away, insert new one. And yeah, all works good.